Hello everybody, it's everyone's favourite feisty feline, Xephas Gracepaws here, and today we're going to be looking at a game that I really loved. A game that I really wish was still as popular as back in its heyday. That game is Furcadia. Furcadia is a free-to-play MMORPG game that was originally released in 1996. Now, I'll give you a little clue as to my age and say, although I was alive in 1996, I wouldn't have been able to sit at a computer chair, let alone operate the computer, for at least like 2-3 more years. So I definitely didn't start playing the game when it came out by any stretch. The game itself holds a Guinness World Record for being the longest continuously running social MMORPG. The game is quite unique in the way that it works. All the players are animals, although you can play as a human, and you inhabit a world that contains player-built environments known as dreams. The game comes with an editor that allows you to make your own maps, import your own graphics, and even type code to program minigames and other fun events in your dream. Up until late 2012, very little had changed with the game. They were still using old 16-bit graphics, and the engine certainly felt and seemed like it needed a good overhaul. That's when the project's founder, Dr. Cat, launched the Furcadia Second Dreaming Kickstarter in an attempt to change the system and improve it. One of the promised features included a mobile application, a web-based application, graphical updates, and a few other bits and bobs. The Kickstarter was successful and work was due to begin in December of the same year. Then, silence. A mobile application was released to iOS and Android that was a decent enough port of the desktop game, only to be pulled from the stores a matter of days later. The company's reason was that Apple had removed the application as their in-game programming system violated their terms of service. So to avoid stripping that feature out, Catnip Studios, the creators of Furcadia, just removed it from both Android and Apple. The company seemed as though they were doing very little in terms of updating the game and making progress on their promised checklist. The rewards that players could receive for backing the game were all in the game, so they were given out fairly quickly, which was at least something as the people who chose to donate got their items. In fact, it would be up until late 2015 until any kind of progress was revealed, with only concept art and mocked up screenshots to go on until they got to that point. They had finally updated the graphics of a number of the in-game areas and encouraged players to upgrade their own dreams to include the new 32-bit graphics. Unfortunately, it seemed to be too little, too late. After having gone completely silent for over 3 years as to the fate of the Second Dreaming project, a number of players had become frustrated and quit. And by a number, I mean a very substantial number. I remember hopping around the game and the user list having upwards of 5,000 to 10,000 people on. Today it barely hits 1,000 players online, and despite the updates, which are still ongoing, it seems to be the case of too little too late. The problem with Furcadia was never the graphics. Sure, the graphics were outdated and felt at home on the Atari 2600, but they were excusable. The experience carried the whole game, with the amazing opportunities for socialising, roleplay and world creation that it offered. The big problems were lurking just beneath the surface of the solid product, however. The way Furcadia makes money is by selling avatars in-game. Well, selling would imply that by buying them you get them forever, so more, I guess, renting out avatars in-game? That's right. There are a base of 11 characters to choose from that are completely free to play. However, if you want to be anything other than those 11, you have to pay for each avatar you want. So, say you want to be a raccoon, you have to pay $10, but you only get it for a year, unless you pay $100 to have it for life. That's Furcadia's biggest downfall. The prices at the avatar store are ridiculously high. It's so expensive to become anything other than the pre-allowed 11 characters, many people just don't bother, and the game doesn't earn the revenue that it needs to succeed. Their other problem is the mobile app that I mentioned. They promised a mobile app, they delivered, but it was taken down. Now if I were them, I'd be working my butt off to make sure that there was an app by now, since it's literally been 6 years. Or at least give out semi-regular updates as to the progress. Which brings me to the main problem, the complete silence between development team and player base. For 3 years between 2012 and 2015 we had no idea if the update was even still happening or if it had been scrapped. The devs need to be a lot more transparent with the player base and give regular updates on how progress is going so that it seems that something's actually being done. Unfortunately, the way the progress is moving, it doesn't look like the updates will be finished this year either. How long is too long? In 3 years, it will have been 10 years since their initial Kickstarter. If the game was being made from scratch, then it could be excused, but these are just minor graphical updates at this point. Furcadia have been getting more involved with the community in the last year. They now stream quite frequently with their artists designing new characters and showing off what they're doing with the graphical changes. But unfortunately, like I said before, the graphics were never the problem. We need innovation like the promised app and not just a fresh lick of paint to revive a dead game. So there we have it, the downfall of Furcadia. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe and leave a comment down below. See you in the next one.